When my daughter was around 15, I noticed that she would always ask to visit the clinic or emergency room, me thinking she may be a slight hypochondriac. I would blame her for being fast or sleeping with little boys in the neighborhood. Little did I know, my accusations were far from the truth. Due to my own inadequacies and personal issues, my daughter would live between my home and my aunt's house starting at the age of around 8. During this particular time, my daughter was around 15 and living with my aunt. I was cleaning the kitchen in my North Dallas apartment and I remember my younger sister handing me the phone and telling me my daughter needed to talk to me. I took the phone and what I heard was so disturbing and disgusting. Now, at this time, I only focused on the fact that my aunt's 67-year-old husband had been molesting my daughter since the age of 8. I immediately jumped into action. I went to my aunt's house and they were having a family meeting. All of my aunt's kids, their spouses, and their kids were there. My aunt's husband sat at the kitchen table looking like a lost dog. I had already made it known that I was coming to take my daughter out of my aunt's house, but they were focusing on the fact that the police would be involved. It went from my aunt's grandson pleading that my aunt's husband was too old to be locked up, to one of my aunt's sons cursing out the whole room and calling my daughter a liar. He even went as far as telling my aunt to fuck herself. My aunt sat at the table across from her husband posting the victim look. I feel like she called the family meeting to protect herself. I feel like she knew what her husband was up to, as well as her son who slept on the couch in the living room. He saw everything, and my daughter's room door was directly in front of the couch. Hell, I believe the whole house knew. A small boom room styled house with 4 very small bedrooms, 1 bathroom for 3 of the bedrooms, and my aunt had the master bathroom, with 7 to 10 people living there at any given time. You cannot breathe without the next person hearing you. They just lived their life in ignorance and silence. I ain't seen nothing and ain't heard nothing mentality. I brought up the fact that my aunt's husband had approached me once while I was asleep with nothing but his boxers on, and he had kissed me on my head. My exact words to him were, "Daddy, what the hell are you doing?" I don't remember him saying anything, besides walking off. I never told my aunt this happened, but I had told my aunt's grandson, and in the family meeting I brought it up and my aunt tried to pretend she knew nothing about it, and my aunt's grandson reminded her that he had told her. It was now that my aunt's youngest daughter brought up the fact that my aunt's husband had AIDS. She brought this up, but when asked if my aunt's husband had ever touched her, she just stared straight forward, never saying a word. It was brought forward that my aunt's granddaughter had brought this situation to light. My daughter had apparently divulged what was going on and there was some reason for a pause, including me and others. I remember my aunt's granddaughter giving my daughter high fives and saying something about girl power. Like this was a situation to address sexual harassment or the fact that my daughter was still being exposed to this pedophile. I find it hard to believe that me and my daughter were the only ones he tried this with, but then again we were not blood. My aunt said she was waiting for my daughter to take pics or scratch her husband to have proof. She even went so far to say she wanted to let her husband go into my daughter's room and then have her yell out to catch him. All this sounded like bullshit to me, but I could not ignore the fact that my daughter was apprehensive about leaving my aunt's house. She felt like since everyone knew what had happened then it was okay for her to stay. Of course, I was not having it, but it worried my soul to know that my daughter may prefer being in a pedophilic situation to being with me. When we got back to my home, I want to say that my daughter came to her senses about why it would be wrong for her to stay at my aunt's house, but this could be my conscience filling in memories. But we did talk in detail about all the things my aunt's husband did to my daughter. My daughter told me it started when she was about 8. He would bend her over the back of the couch and rub himself on her. He would also go into her room at night and perform oral on her. She told me sometimes she would have one of her friends on the phone to witness what was happening and to help her zone out. He would also use the front bathroom and force her to watch him masturbate. She told me he tried to have intercourse with her once, but he couldn't. It dawned on me at this moment that my daughter was going to the doctor to be tested for AIDS. I remember my sister telling me this is why my daughter kept going to the doctor, as if this is not information you divulge to your sister about her daughter. The horror and confusion I felt. My aunt's family was my family and there I was standing alone against all of them, and my daughter was not completely on my side either. I did what a lot of women do. I did nothing to punish that bastard and I still dealt with my aunt's family long-handed spoon or not. My aunt's husband died not long after this revelation, and although my aunt did not punish him in real life, she did in death. With only the essentials provided for his funeral, my daughter and I only found out he had died several weeks after they had had the funeral. My aunt's youngest daughter would tell the story of how my aunt's husband had had a stroke in the master bathroom and had fallen out on the floor. My aunt's youngest daughter described how she drugged him out of the bathroom and left him on the floor for someone else to help him. My daughter never contracted AIDS, but until the day she died at 20 years of age, she was paranoid about the whole ordeal, and I still feel the guilt of letting it happen.